Welcome to this edition of Connections. I'm Christy Naus with the Community Foundation, and you know I love to show you things that you might not have access to in other ways, and I think that's probably the case today. I am here with Sharon Kraus and Gina Ross, and we are at In Harmony Farm. If you haven't heard of In Harmony Farm before, you'll know more about it after today. So would one of you just tell us a little more about yourselves and then In Harmony Farm and where we are and what it is?
Well, Gina and I met about 30 years ago, and we've connected for different projects over the years. And about 2.5 years ago, I knew that I wanted to transition my farm into something different. And I knew the only person that I wanted to work with to try and figure out what that path forward was with Gina. So we met with about 60 different stakeholders across the community to really identify where the gaps are today in farming, in agriculture, in food security. And what we discovered is that there are a large number of historically underrepresented farmers that are looking for land. It's really difficult in central Iowa to find 3 to 5 acres of land to grow specialty crops. So that's what we are. We provide land, infrastructure, and business capacity building for historically underrepresented farmers.
That is so great. Tell me a little more about what that looks like. So who are the farmers that you're working with? How are you finding them? And then how are you supporting them in building their business?
Our program is open to anyone that falls under that historically underrepresented classification. So it could be LGBTQ, BIPOC, veteran, immigrant, refugee. And so we reach out to all of those different communities and interview farmers. Most of our farmers come to us with lots of great agricultural experience, but what they don't have is a connection to a market. They don't have the access to a cooler or to equipment today, or certainly land. So that's what we do. And so the 5 years that they're with us, then they get all of those capacity building resources, save a little money, and then we find them a long-term land opportunity.
Yes, because you're helping them with equipment, with coolers, making connections to places like Food Bank of Iowa, and really teaching them to think bigger in their business too, right?
Absolutely. Another piece that we have today is we are the recipients of a Climate Smart Commodities grant through the USDA. And what this allows us to do is really educate the consumers about what a climate smart commodity is. And a climate smart commodity is something that's grown with sustainable ag practices, ideally grown locally so that you don't have a large carbon footprint. We want to really minimize that carbon footprint. This grant allows us to work with retailers like Fairway. So Fairway will send their produce managers here to the farm. They'll mentor the farmers. They'll identify what level of ripeness does the produce need to be at when it comes to the store? What level of conformity, quality, how does it need to be packaged? So these are the long-term relationships that we're helping our farmers to establish so that once they graduate from In Harmony Farm, they can work directly with the retailers and the wholesalers because they've had their experience while they're with us.
And when you say graduate, you kind of put your arms around them with this capacity building for about 5-ish years and then help them transition to kind of what would be next or phase 2 for them.
Correct.
And then bring a whole new batch of farmers in. And you're also looking to expand.
Correct.
As well. What kinds of produce are we seeing as a result of their efforts?
Well, with the group of farmers that we have today, all of them come from Burundi, Africa. And so they grow a lot of the same East African specialty crops, which include white eggplant, African eggplant, product amaranth, we call it lenga-lenga, which is a green. I say it falls between kale and spinach.
Ooh, lovely.
Isogo, which is another green that's a lot like watercress. And then they grow things that we're used to, peppers, picnic peppers, they grow hot peppers.
I heard you say beets. That's one of my favorites.
Beets. So lots of the products that you would see in the grocery store.
Wow, so cool. What a great program that you all have put together here. You've also, the Community Foundation was able to step up as you were establishing this nonprofit organization and serve as a fiscal sponsor, but also there's a giving circle at the Community Foundation that I know has supported. And you've gotten some other grant funding as well to really make this all, this vision come to life. It's very, very impressive here. And I hope that, and are you open to the public, or if people want to learn more, they can go to your website to learn more or support the organization?
We'd love to welcome tours. So anyone that would like to come out, we'd love them to connect with our farm manager,
That's
Sam,
a great idea.
and come out for tours. We've got 2.5 miles of walking trails and a lot of conservation work.
Good.
Part of this Climate Smart Commodities grant will allow us to produce a lot of wayfinding signage. So over the years, you'll be able to take walks throughout the farm, and the signage will really inform you as to what's going on and what you see as you come and tour.
Really interesting for students too.
We hope our future vision is that we see schools and classrooms of children coming out and really looking at and being immersed in where their food comes from.
Yeah.
So creating an educational hub at the front of the farm so that we can hold tours and do some educational work with our community.
Yeah, and just being exposed to different types of food too. It's great. Well, thank you for joining. I hope that you've learned more about In Harmony Farm and have enjoyed it. Certainly you are living our motto of better together. So thanks for all you're doing to help these farmers grow.